So I think it kind of makes sense to be using sanitary wear that is not going to be affecting your body in any way, shape or form. So I think we've been kind of labouring under the belief that sanitary products are quite fine. They call themselves that they're made of cotton. They sound quite natural. It's only when you kind of look into it a little bit more deeply that you start to understand they are anything but natural. So for example, we can have tampons that are actually quite abrasive for the vagina and the delicate area internally, so that can be quite problematic for some women. The kind of chemicals, so the bleaches and the synthetic fabrics that are used can be quite damaging. I would say the same for sanitary towels. So these days they're full of all this fluid which draws in all the moisture, so they're quite similar to nappies in that way. So we've moved into a whole different ball game of using a chemically based product, which it wasn't in the past. So I think if you have pathology, so if you have things like endometriosis, particularly fibroids as well to some degree, but any sort of menstrual health imbalance, so hormonal imbalance, it's kind of, I think it works better if you're able to allow the blood to actually flow out of your body rather than bunging it up, which is essentially what's happening with a tampon. So you're not getting that sense of flow because it's being stopped, so you're not even experiencing that bleed, that blood flowing out of your body. And I think if we look at the menstrual cycle in terms of your bleed really is the end of your cycle, and that is about clearing away what's transpired over the last 28-ish, however many days. So it's, if you see it in terms of a clearing and a releasing and a letting go, ready for the next cycle, that's quite a nice way to get in touch with your cycle and to get in touch with your womb. But it's also quite beneficial in terms of pathologies like endometriosis and menstrual pain. So letting that blood actually flow out and really sort of connecting in with that and understanding that's what's happening. So you can actually get sanitary towels these days, which are made from organic fabrics, so they are washable. You can get the sort of the basic outline, and then you could put different layers in so it pads it up and makes it thicker. So I think if you can do, that's really where you should be going. So we haven't got all the issues of what we do with sanitary towels and tampons, how we dispose of them, because obviously ecologically there's issues to do with that. If you are really sort of struggling with a heavy bleed, and I sort of fully appreciate that, it depends what your job is as to what kind of sanitary wear is going to be appropriate for you and what you're going to feel comfortable with. So at the very least you want to be thinking of organic tampons. You can also get sea sponges, washable sea sponges, so you can use them and they act like a tampon, so they're absorbing the blood and then you can just wash those out. And then we can move on to things like the moon cups. So they are products that you insert, and they've got like a little teat type thing on the end which you can pull them out with, and they should last for a day of full flow. I think we always imagine we lose more blood than we actually do in millilitres. It's actually not that much, but it always kind of feels worse than it is. So they're good for sort of like your working day. I'm pretty sure they're sort of PCB free, and so they're made of and they're latex free, so they're not products that are going to irritate or cause allergic reactions. The only issue with that is, do you want to bleed and experience that bleed, or do you want to contain it and then wash it away? So There are quite a few women these days that actually keep hold of their menstrual blood, and they use it for their gardens, so for organic fertilisers. So if you want to hold on to that blood, then that's using a moon cup is a really good way of doing that. If you're not so bothered about that, which isn't maybe everybody's cup of tea, which is fine. And I think we're kind of moving into that stage now, aren't we, where there is talk about menstruation on social media. There's more highlight on menstruation and the fact that yes, it's a quite perfectly natural, normal experience for a woman, and all women at some stage are going to have some mess or some accidents or whatever. It's perfectly normal and natural, so we kind of need to make that a normal experience rather than a shameful experience. And I think that is another way of kind of connecting in with your womb, to actually accept your menstrual cycle as being a perfectly normal and natural part of your life.